Hi, just the other day, I was thinking back to some things I saw on C-SPAN's coverage of the Republican National Convention's breakfast. They discussed a particular governor's low popularity status, and the lady who was speaking said, and I quote, that current governor's approval rating is among the 20th percentile. What? So let's. I want to know one thing. I don't get what she means by this. Does it mean that was she trying to say that 20% of the governors in the nation are getting lower percentiles than the governor at stake, and 80% are doing better? Or does she mean that only 20% of the population support that governor that she was discussing about? It is because if it is the latter, no wonder the Republicans are out of whack with the field of education. They don't even know how to the lingo that's appropriate with educational statistics. Let's get one thing straight. Percentile and percentages are not, I repeat, not the same thing. Percentile is norm referenced. Percentage is criterion referenced. Percentile means rated on a curve. You cannot talk of approval ratings and say percentile. The word percentage means out of a total of 100. Uh, let's say a group of instead of say, I'll just give any number, 243,000, or let's say a city of 243,000 citizens, and the mayor there is not being very popular. You don't say he's on the 20th percentile. That only means that he does better than 20% of the other mayors. If you're talking about the correct term right there would be 20 percentage. The term percentile means a comparison. Percentage, you're looking at the total group. Percentile, you're looking at comparisons. The word percentile means that the person scored better than the indicated percent of people who participated in a sample. No wonder so many idiotic people, I wouldn't say idiotic because it's not idiots, it's ignorance. There's a big difference in that. I stand corrected. I corrected myself. I didn't mean to offend anybody, I know that, but the truth is, ignorance is still there. If you see that a student's score was mentioned, let's say 68th percentile, and he went to the 89th percentile, that may or may not mean that he improved. That only means that at first he did better than 67% of the population who took the same assessment, and then he did better than 89% of the population who took the same assessment. It may speak for him, in favor of him, but it may also speak against the other ones, because in percentile scores, in norm reference testing, the only way you can improve is if others drop. So if you went from let's say she went from 67th percentile to 89th percentile, that means between 67 and 89 there were a lot of people who could have dropped as well, or simply not advanced. 89th percentile of a group of students who scored on average 13% of the problems correct is not the same as the same percentile for an average of 98% of the problems correct. If you do the math, it is very possible to get a very high percentile and still do poorly. Uh, True situation with a lady I was talking about this issue before. Her daughter scored an 86 percentile in her CSTs. I don't remember what portion of it. Yet, she only got 68% of the questions right. It's a disgrace. If we look at percentile with its true definition, which is a comparison of grading on the curve, not on knowledge, it's on the curve, we could have, let's say, 100 students, and the highest grade in a question of 100, the highest score, the highest number of questions right is 50. That student only scored 50% of the questions correctly. That is an utter failure. But if we look at it in terms of percentile, with the ILE at the end, she is at the 99th percentile, even though she failed the test. The reason being, she is the highest grade. It is very deceptive if you do not know what you're looking at. Percentage is one thing, percentile is the other. The same is also true in reverse. Let's say a particular group, just for the example's sake, let's say in a particular year the kids did phenomenally well, and the lowest grade was 90% of the questions answered right, that being the lowest. Imagine that the lowest score for a particular group is 90%. That is an excellent group. But here's a caveat. If it's norm referenced, that student who scored 9 out of 10 problems correctly still failed. Still scored on the first percentile just because everybody else did better. That's what percentile means. It has nothing to do with the totality or with what is known. You want to do that? Look at the Roscoe's. Percentile means nothing. I'm talking to you in terms of statistics. Mind you, I don't mean to brag, but I'm a doctoral student, and this is precisely the topic I'm doing my dissertation on. So I do know what I'm talking about here. Republicans, you want to improve education, I admire that greatly. But let's get the facts straight. And let's look at the words for what they really mean, instead of letting ourselves be deceived by ignorant interpretations.